Hi, Jonathan from Live Life Coach. Are you or someone you know feeling stuck, searching for direction, or wanting a clearer sense of what's next? You're welcome to connect with me. Whether you're exploring practical next steps or seeking God's leading, I'm always open to a genuine, no pressure conversation.
Part 2 of my 2-part story.
And so this is where, I think, understanding your personality, understanding who you are and what you do, how you do things, and that sort of thing really makes a difference. And that's what made the difference for me. And when I spoke to my own life coach, I was talking with her, going through some things, saying, look, I've lost interest in what I'm doing. I don't really know where to go, what to do. I was looking at buying another business, and that came clear that it wasn't meant to be. And so, I was going through, and what do? I've had enough. I really want to move on. Where do I go? And so her question to me was, what's 3 things that you want to do? What are the 3 areas that you'd be interested in? And so when I thought about it, I said, well, okay, I quite like real estate. And so I thought, I could be a real estate agent. I always sort of thought of that. I looked at it in the past, considered doing that. But that was one thing. And then I thought, well, I like cars. I'm quite into cars. Wouldn't mind sort of fixing them up, getting old cars, fixing them up, selling them on. Just really sort of working at that sort of thing. And then I thought, well, my wife had mentioned to me, oh, maybe we should do coaching. Coaching would be cool. And I thought, yeah, that'd be all right, because we'd been working with a coach for some other stuff for ourselves personally, and as he'd mentioned, that seems kind of cool. Actually, kind of like what he was doing with us and how we were interacting with him, and I thought that was really cool. So that really opened me up to think about those things. What are those 3 things? And as I went through them, I spoke with a real estate agent that I know, and I spoke to her, and got some gauged it and what that sort of thing. And I realised after talking with her that actually no, it's not the area I want to go into. It doesn't suit me. The lifestyle of real estate agent is not the lifestyle that I like, not the lifestyle that I want to be working in. There's nothing wrong with the lifestyle they have, but it's not for me, not for my family. Cars, when I really looked at that, I thought, well, I'm going to be on the tools. I'm going to be working away, trying to fix things. And then getting cars that you can fix up and sell on in New Zealand, pretty hard, especially classic cars. It's going to be a hard job. It's going to be expensive. It's going to be a long thing. I think I decided to keep that as a hobby. That's going to be my hobby. That's what I'm just going to plug around with, do whenever I want to do it. Not make it something that I'm going to try and make money out of. And so that left me with coaching. And the more I thought about coaching, the more I went, actually, yeah, that's what I'm interested in. And funnily enough, I went home to my wife and says, look, I've decided I'm going to go into coaching. And even though originally she was encouraging me to go in coaching, she had the craziest reaction. She was like, no, you can't go into coaching. It's just, no, you can't do that. It turns out, because she's a virtual assistant, she works for 5 different coaches, and she was a bit scared that they were going to be upset that now her husband was a coach, and that's in competition to them, and she's supporting them, and then she'll be passing on their ideas to me, and all that sort of thing. Well, we worked through that and realised that actually no, it's not a problem. They're more than supportive. Each of those coaches are quite supportive, quite open. In fact, as I say, she's working for 5 other coaches, so it's kind of a bit of a contradiction to say that I can't be a coach when she's working for different coaches anyway. So the journey started then of working through becoming a coach. And when I looked at coaching, the 2 that came to mind was business coach or life coach. And when I looked at business coach, I went, while I do enjoy business, I've been 20 years working for myself. I enjoy the aspects of business, the lifestyle that it provides, the things that come with it, and what you can do there. I realised that business coaching, the main crux of it really wasn't for me. To me, business coaching is about looking at the business, looking at where are your finances, where is your marketing, what is your strategy, what are you doing with your staff, and that sort of thing. And while yes, I could help in that sort of area, it doesn't bring me joy. And I need to do those things working in my own business as well. But it's not something that I have to do all day, every day, or discuss all day, every day. And I just went, no, that's not for me. And so that's where life coaching became a thing. And when I really look at my personality, for me, when I look at my personalities, profiles, I see a real high tendency towards people. I am really a people-focused person. I have a good interaction with people. I'm quite happy up in front of a crowd. I'm quite happy on my own. There's lots of things that really suit me. I mean, when I catch up with people, I'm generally find I can pretty easily get on with most people. I don't really clash with too many people at all. And so when I was thinking about my own journey that I've been on, as I went through my own journey and looked at that, I realised that, hey, that's where I've been going, is that life coaching, journey of my own, working things out for myself. And I sort of thought, well, hey, look, it took me a couple of years to figure this stuff out, whereas I'm thinking, well, if I'd approached a life coach sooner, I would have worked this out a lot quicker. I would have been able to figure this sort of stuff out much quicker. And looking at all the personality tests, a lot of people do one personality test. They might do DISC profile, they might do the Working Genius or Clifton Strengths, and they go, that's it, that's my personality, that tells me a lot. Personally, I think actually it was the 4-5 different personality tests that I took that really formed a real picture for me. Each one, although very similar, gives a different perspective. One helps me with my communication style, one helps me with my working style, one helps me with my, whether I'm people or task orientated, introverted, extroverted, all that sort of thing comes out in these personality tests and really helps you come to grips with who you are. And that's what I really found, is that understanding my personality really helped me to understand who I am and why I do things, and not to feel bad about the fact that I'm not interested in all that task-driven stuff. I'm not worried about the details. That's not a bad thing. I'm not getting bogged down going, oh, this thing's 1 cent out, I've really got to solve that, otherwise it's just going to ruin my day. That's not me. And there are people out there who love looking at numbers and going, oh yes, I love spreadsheets, I love seeing what's going on. That's not me. There's nothing wrong with that. We're all designed, we've been created differently, and we're all made in a way that is who we're meant to be. And that's what I really enjoy, is just being able to find that out, figure out, who am I and why do I do things the way I do it? Why am I working through these things this way? And helping other people figure that out, helping people see that, hey, I do this and I do that. That's not bad. That's actually, how can I leverage that? How can I use that? And when you understand that sort of thing, it really helps you to work through all that, all those things that are there. You can get rid of things because you go, everyone tells me I should be doing this or I should be doing that. Well, actually, no. Is that where you're, where you sit? Is that where you're working in your strength? Or is it stuff that is their strength, not your strength? If it's their strength, of course they're going to say you're going to need to be doing that. And when you're not doing it, well, then you're just not doing the right thing. But in actual fact, we need to be looking at, what is the other person's strength, not as the strength that the person talking to you has and they're reflecting it on you. They should be looking at your strength and seeing what it is and going, hey, this is where we can best use you. Because when you're working in the areas that you're strongest, then you're going to excel. When you're working in areas that you're not strong in, well, you're going to get frustrated. You're going to burn out because you're always struggling to do this thing that you're trying to, push through and make happen, and it's just not you. So I just want to encourage you, if you're in that sort of place going, who am I? What am I doing? I'm frustrated with where I'm at. I really want to be able to move forward and make a difference. Then, hey, look, I'm here to talk, because the big thing with life coaching is not that, I'm telling you what to do. I'm a listening ear. I'm here to say, hey, what's going on? What are you thinking about? What is the process that you're going through? And as you talk through things, you actually start to voice out, and you actually start to hear what you're saying. You start to understand things, and it starts to create another picture in your mind, and certain questions, certain thoughts will help you to be able to shift that mind block. I have a client who, with working with them, we were talking through, and they just started a new job, and they were feeling really sort of out of place, and like they weren't doing enough, and they would need to be bringing on contracts, and they didn't really feel like they were getting anywhere. But when we nailed it down and looked at it, they'd been in the position for 5 weeks. 2 weeks of that had been training. They'd been away on courses and learning the processes and things for the company that they were working for. Then they'd been out in the field about 2.5 weeks. In that 2.5 weeks, they had got 6 contracts. Now they were looking at it going, I've been here 4.5, 5 weeks. I've only got half a dozen contracts. And I went, hang on a minute. That means you signed up 2 new contracts at least in the last 3 weeks every week. That's huge. Look at where you have come from. You started with nothing. You've already got 6 contracts in a short amount of time. Don't compare yourself to where you were in your previous position. You had been there for a number of years, and of course you're walking away from a lot of contracts. And now you're starting fresh. You've got nothing. Don't feel bad. You've achieved something. If you'd been there 4 weeks and done nothing, you had no contracts, no nothing, maybe there's grounds to say, okay, what's going wrong? What's going on? Why haven't you signed anyone? But they'd made 6 contracts, signed up 6 contracts in a period of of 3 weeks. And when they understood that, when they looked at it and went, hey, actually, what have I gained, not what have I lost? It really opened up the position for them, and they just went, wow, actually, this is amazing. This is really, it shifted their mindset, and they were really be able to just relax into the position a bit more and not feel like they were not meeting expectations or anything, but they were able to go, actually, I am on the right path. I am doing the right things. I feel good about this job, and I am achieving some goals. I'm getting people signed up for the things that I'm offering. And so that's the thing. When you talk through things, and somebody brings a slightly different perspective, they've been able to help you see some things differently, then it really makes a difference for you and for where you can move forward. That's what I'm here for, is to have a conversation, talk through things with you, bring some different perspective, really help you see things in a different light, not through me telling you what to do, but just through, bringing in some different angles of things, asking some questions, working through things, and really just helping you to see, where you might be able to go, what you might be able to do, look at it from this angle, or look at it from that angle, or what is it that makes you feel like that, or what is it that you think you should be doing, or could be doing to make this better. All these sorts of things. There's lots of stuff that can be worked through, and you can go away with just a changed perspective. And if you really get into your personality and looking at who you are and understanding what your strengths are, then you can really build again on that. You can really push into it, and you can see where you're going to excel and how you're going to excel, and that really makes a difference. So if you're keen, if you're interested in finding out more about your personality, or just having that conversation about where you're going, what you're doing, what is it that's holding you back, what will open you up to different things, then that's what I'm here for. I'd love to talk with you. Come and have a chat, discuss about the things you're sort of thinking, and we can set up some times to meet up and just go through and work through things and really make things happen for you and help you find the best version of you. So I hope that's helpful, and hey, I look forward to catching up with you, being able to help you move forward in your life and find that place that you're just going to find joy each day, where burnout's not even an issue because you're working in a place that you're strong in. Occasionally you're going to have to work in things that you're not strong in, but your majority of the time you're working within your strengths. You're living life within your strengths and within your personality, and just being able to really be open and free and work through things. So hope you've enjoyed that, and look forward to catching up with you again next time.